Hello everybody and welcome back to another Ayoto Corporation video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Human Extinction Simulator. And stop! Do not close the video. I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh, look at this. It's another one of those stupid simulator games. I bet it's going to be quirky like Goat Simulator, except this time you have to shoot humans from a UFO or something. No, that is wrong. Unlike other simulators, this one is... okay, I guess it's more like an actual simulator than anything. Other simulators have you playing as the thing you're simulating. A goat, a farmer, etc. This one is simulating scenarios. If you've seen Star Trek, it's kind of like the Kobayashi Maru test, where they have a scenario and you have to figure out a way to beat it. In this case, you're attempting to stop the end of the world. Or human civilization, as it were. The game itself is made by a single-man indie dev studio called Machine 22, and it's a tactical turn-based puzzle sort of game, is similar to Wings of War or the X-Wing board games if you've ever played those. If not, look it up on YouTube. I know Tabletop on Geek and Sundry has made a video on X-Wing at least. The game's currently on Greenlight, and I am currently playing a demo which is free to download. Both of the links will be in the description below. So first, I'm just going to show you the graphics options. It's not a particularly high fidelity game at the moment, so there isn't a whole lot of graphics options to go with. Just resolution, full screen, and move animations. These ones you're probably going to want to turn off once you actually get into the game. I'll show you why, but for the moment I'll leave them on. Anyway, the demo by itself is not a whole lot. It's 8 basically tutorial missions and 1 actual mission. Now I should point out that this game is extremely hard. I've been playing it for a week and I have beaten 4 of the tutorial missions. I looked at this one and cried a little bit. So I am just going to play one of the basic missions to sort of show you how it works. At the beginning of each mission, you have an objective and secondary objective. The main objective is this: prevent the destruction of the transport ship and destroy all alien ships. Simple. Secondary objectives are exactly what they say they are. You complete the simulation without losing a single ship and complete the simulation in 4 turns or less. It's possible to do these. I don't know how. As far as I can tell, there isn't any real benefit to completing the secondary objectives apart from feeling better about yourself and having more medals on the screen. But, yeah, usually I just have enough of an issue trying to get this to not happen. So, here we have the screen. This is, as the first mission, just a very simple conflict. I got 2 fighters and 1 transport who's trying not to be blown up. So what I can do is I can move these ships into any of these hexes, as you can see here. It's sort of restrictive in that respect, and that causes an issue when doing sort of ship-to-ship combat, but for now I'll just move the ship here. Each ship has 2 or 3 actions they can take. This, being a transport ship, has no weapons, so it can only move twice. Other ships, like these, can move once, shoot, then move again, or shoot, then move twice. You can't move twice and shoot. I understand why it might be a little bit too powerful, but I kind of wish I could do it sometimes. So, here's how the game basically functions. You play as a ship, you move it to any of these hexes, and then from there I can hit this other ship and try and take it down. The big problem is that, as I said before, these hexes are very restrictive in their movement. For example, I can move here and shoot that ship, no problem. However, if I move 1 square forward, it's almost impossible for me to hit the ship. So I'm going to move here just to show you. If I were to move 1 square forward there, I wouldn't be able to loop back around and shoot the ship very easily. I might wind up over here, at which point I would have to go down and around like that. or I could wind up right next to the ship and have to go all the way out and around to circle back and hit the ship. It's extremely restrictive in what moves you can make. These directional arrows are absolute. You can't change them. It's extremely difficult to aim in the game. I understand it's part of the balance, and thank God the enemy ships are generally limited in the same way. So this ship can only move into one of the 3 squares in front of it. But still, it's extremely frustrating to work with sometimes. Especially if you're trying to get a ship into another position to shoot another ship, and you just can't get a firing target on it. So anyway, I've taken down the enemy ship, and now I'm going to move this ship probably over here. These guys are basically expendable because this is the protected target. So, now I have the ability to move this ship here and aim at this guy. Then you can move up here again, and then this guy has to find a place to move. This square, yellow triangle, means that the ship is almost within firing range. If this ship moves once, it'll be within firing range of this guy. The red square means it's immediately in danger. So I assume that means that this ship would have to move here and probably have it in its front cannons. A handy thing that you can use, and you probably will use it because there's missions later on which basically depend on your ability to do this, is press space. This will show you all potential threat zones. For example, yellow is, as I said, a potential threat zone. The ship has to move into position to get there. Red is immediate threat. The ship will have a firing range on this, no doubt whatsoever. So I think I'm going to protect this ship by moving it into this blank spot. And from there, probably just letting it sit. This spot was not marked as yellow or red, which means this ship can't get a firing angle on it. That's an extremely useful thing to know in some of the later missions, because there's a ship transport mission where if you don't get your transport ships into the blank spots, they will die and you will have to restart that mission many times. Now, here is an example of one of my issues. I cannot get a firing angle on this guy right now. If I move here and I was aiming down this way, I might be able to hit the ship, but I can't. If I move here, I can't get a firing angle on him. Move here, similarly. The best thing I could do is probably loop around this way and then try and come down from the top on my next movement. Now this guy is on the edge of the battle, which means he has to go out and turn around. This ship is currently in immediate danger, so best thing to do is just move it right behind this guy. Or I just sit right there. So now I can move this fighter down here and move him here. Next combat he'll be able to aim at this ship if it doesn't get blown up. Hey, it didn't. That's good. And now they begin chasing. Okay. God, this is hard. I've beaten this mission, and it's still difficult. Oh crap. That was in range. Okay. Now we get on to one of the tricky things. This game does mean that you can move ships into positions to block other ships. For example, if I move both of my ships like this ship can only move here, which means this guy is safe. He's not in danger anymore. I think. Yeah, he's safe. Okay. Whew. Anyway. A lot of the time, that's what sort of thing that'll happen. You'll have to set your ship... Oh! come on. I'm lucky he didn't die. Okay. Forget what I was saying before about being safe. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move this ship here. And then up here is all safe zones. Okay, so... See, this is what I mean, though. If I was able to aim downwards at this square, I could have a firing angle on this guy, but I can't. He's in a complete safe zone at the moment. So the best thing I can do, probably, is just sit there and wait for him to turn around. Ah, I can actually get an angle on him here, but I just moved twice. Oh well. Now, this is why before I said turning off the enemy ship movements is probably a good idea. It's not as much of an issue in this mission because there were only 2 enemy ships and 3 player ships, but in larger missions, it can take a significant amount of time to get through each turn. So I can sit here for a good while just waiting for my ships to move, and then I have to sit and wait for probably a minute waiting for the enemy ships to move. Oh boy, this is a mess. I'll do this. And then probably go like that. I don't know what that's going to do for me, actually. Oh, of course he goes that way. Okay. Now I can finally start shooting him because I was able to get him around. Oy. And now begins the great chase. It's a bit buggy, I think, when this danger map is showing up. Just because I think it depends on the ship, or sometimes it doesn't take into account certain things. But for the most part, it's an extremely good tool. Okay, this ship has shot, so I'll move him up here. This ship over there. Now they just have to chase him down, basically. Eventually he'll die. And he didn't move far enough up the first time. Ah, screw you, ship. There we go. Got him. Haha! Suck it! And I only took 9 turns to do it. Yeah. Anyway, that's basically how a mission will work. You'll get 1 star for completing it, and then 1 extra star for each of the secondary objectives you complete. It'll also tell you your casualties, how many turns, etc. It's really good if you want to show off how smart you are to your friends, but I wouldn't even bother aiming for these 2, honestly, because this is ridiculously hard. Let me see, another one, for example, would be the Mazakhalni thing. This is basically destroy alien ships before they blow up your planet. There's a whole bunch of different ships. I believe the dev said 30 ships will be in the final game, and more if you mod them in. But currently, I've only seen 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 ships. Still a good amount for only completing 4 missions, though. Actually, I don't even know if I want to bother with this mission because it's really hard. So I won't. Anyway, the game in the end will be probably around $10-15, and unlike most games where they go on Greenlight and then get an early access, this game will be released full. It won't be put out in early access form or any sort of beta, unless the dev thinks he needs the money for more polish, such as voice acting, or maybe getting a full soundtrack. Anyway, I highly suggest you check this game out and vote for it on Greenlight. The demo is free and linked in the description, and the game itself is really easy to pick up if hard to master. I know I'll be failing to beat it a lot more in the future. This has been Ayoto Corporation, and we will see you next time.